Throughout human history, myths and legends have served as vehicles for understanding our origins, explaining natural phenomena, and preserving cultural wisdom. Among these enduring narratives, the tales of the Nephilim and Atlantis stand as particularly fascinating examples of how ancient stories continue to captivate our modern imagination. These two distinct mythological concepts, originating from separate cultural traditions, have become increasingly intertwined in contemporary speculation, alternative history theories, and popular media. Though separated by cultural contexts and historical periods, both narratives describe extraordinary beings and advanced civilizations that met with catastrophic ends, inviting comparison and connection across millennia of storytelling. The Nephilim emerge from biblical and apocryphal texts as enigmatic figures whose true nature has been debated for centuries by religious scholars and mythologists alike. According to the Book of Genesis, they were the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men, often interpreted as the union between fallen angels and human women. These beings were described as heroes of old, men of renown, and in some translations as giants, possessing extraordinary strength and stature that set them apart from ordinary humans. The Nephilim appear in various ancient Middle Eastern texts, including the Book of Enoch, where they are portrayed as corrupting influences on humanity, teaching forbidden knowledge and eventually becoming a catalyst for divine punishment through the Great Flood. Atlantis, by contrast, originates from the philosophical dialogues of Plato, specifically in his works Timaeus and Critias, written around 360 BCE. Plato describes Atlantis as a powerful maritime civilization located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, the Strait of Gibraltar, possessing unparalleled technological advancement, architectural marvels, and military might. The Atlanteans were said to have conquered many parts of the Mediterranean until they were defeated by the ancient Athenians in a great war. Following their defeat, Plato recounts that there occurred violent earthquakes and floods, and in a single day and night of misfortune, the island of Atlantis disappeared in the depths of the sea. Unlike the Nephilim narrative, which appears in religious texts considered sacred by multiple faiths, Atlantis was presented by Plato as a philosophical allegory, though many have since interpreted it as a historical account. The folklore surrounding these two concepts reveals interesting parallels that have fueled speculation about their potential connection. Many cultures around the world feature stories of ancient giants or superhuman beings who possessed advanced knowledge but were eventually destroyed due to their corruption or hubris. Native American tribes speak of giant ancestors who once ruled the land, while Norse mythology tells of the Jotnar, primordial beings of tremendous size and strength. Similarly, legends of sunken lands or lost civilizations appear across diverse cultures, from the Welsh tale of Cantre y Gwaelod to the Indian stories of Kumari Kandam. These cross-cultural parallels suggest either universal archetypes in human storytelling or, as some alternative theorists propose, shared memories of actual historical events passed down through oral tradition. The conceptual bridge between these narratives often centers on the theme of an antediluvian, pre-flood world of advanced technology and supernatural beings. Some speculative theories suggest that the Nephilim, with their superhuman abilities and forbidden knowledge, may have been the builders and rulers of Atlantis. These interpretations typically point to descriptions of Atlantean society as highly stratified, with a ruling class possessing special abilities or knowledge that separated them from common citizens. The devastating flood that allegedly destroyed Atlantis bears striking similarities to the biblical deluge sent to cleanse the earth of the corruption brought by the Nephilim, further strengthening this proposed connection in the minds of many theorists and storytellers. Religious and esoteric traditions have expanded upon these potential connections throughout history, particularly within certain mystical and occult systems. Some Kabbalistic interpretations suggest that the Nephilim possessed advanced spiritual knowledge that enabled them to manipulate physical reality in ways that would appear technological to modern observers. Theosophical writings of the late 19th century, particularly those of Helena Blavatsky, explicitly connected the Atlanteans to a lineage of spiritually advanced root races with superhuman capabilities. Various New Age philosophies have further developed these ideas, suggesting that both the Nephilim and Atlanteans possess psychic abilities, advanced energy manipulation techniques, and even genetic engineering capabilities far beyond what mainstream science acknowledges as possible for ancient civilizations. Archaeological evidence for either the Nephilim or Atlantis remains elusive, though proponents of these connections point to several contested findings. Megalithic structures around the world, from the Egyptian pyramids to the massive stone blocks at Baalbek in Lebanon, are sometimes attributed to the engineering capabilities of giant beings. Underwater formations near places like Bimini in the Bahamas or Yonaguni in Japan have been interpreted by some as potential remains of Atlantean structures, though mainstream archaeology generally considers these to be natural formations. Ancient texts describing advanced technology, such as the Vimanas, flying machines, mentioned in Sanskrit epics, are cited as potential evidence of the technological sophistication possessed by pre-flood civilizations, possibly including both the Nephilim and Atlanteans. In literature and popular culture, the connection between the Nephilim and Atlantis has proven extraordinarily fertile ground for creative exploration. Writers from the Victorian era onward have woven these mythologies together in countless ways, from Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea to more recent works like Graham Hancock's Fingerprints of the Gods. Contemporary fiction often portrays the Nephilim as the genetic source of Atlantean superhuman abilities, while fantasy and science fiction regularly depict Atlantis as a civilization built or enhanced by beings of supernatural origin. Video games like Assassin's Creed and Tomb Raider have incorporated these connected mythologies into their world-building, while television shows such as Ancient Aliens and Atlantis Rising have popularized speculative theories linking these ancient narratives to extraterrestrial intervention or lost human potential. The enduring appeal of connecting these mythologies speaks to deeper questions about human origins and potential. Both narratives challenge conventional historical understandings of human development, suggesting that our ancestors may have achieved greater technological and spiritual heights than mainstream archaeology acknowledges. They offer alternative explanations for the seemingly impossible engineering feats of ancient civilizations and provide a framework for understanding various anomalous artifacts and structures that don't easily fit into conventional historical timelines. For many people, these connected mythologies represent not just entertaining speculation, but a genuine alternative history that feels intuitively resonant with their understanding of humanity's true capabilities and cosmic significance. Critics of these connections, however, point to the fundamental lack of empirical evidence supporting either narrative as historical fact. Biblical scholars generally interpret the Nephilim as metaphorical or mythological figures rather than literal historical beings, while classicists typically view Plato's Atlantis as a philosophical construct rather than a historical account. Archaeologists note that human technological development follows well-documented patterns of gradual advancement, rather than the sudden appearance and disappearance of highly advanced civilizations. The geological record similarly lacks evidence for catastrophic global floods within human historical timeframes, though localized flooding events may have inspired these narratives of worldwide destruction. The connection between the Nephilim and Atlantis ultimately reveals more about human psychology and our need for meaningful narratives than it does about ancient history. These intertwined mythologies offer explanations for the seemingly inexplicable, provide cautionary tales about the dangers of hubris and corruption, and suggest that humanity once possessed, and might again attain, knowledge and abilities far beyond our current understanding. Whether interpreted as literal history, spiritual metaphor, or entertaining fiction, these connected narratives continue to evolve and expand within our collective imagination, demonstrating the remarkable resilience and adaptability of ancient myths in addressing perennial human questions about our origins, purpose, and potential.